What family secret came out at the worst possible moment? My dad always bragged about his successful entrepreneur brother who lived in California. Uncle Mark supposedly owned 3 restaurants and drove a Tesla. Dad would show neighbors Mark's Instagram posts of fancy meals and expensive cars. For 15 years, Mark was our family's crown jewel. Dad would casually drop his name at barbecues, telling everyone how his brother was killing it and expanding his restaurant empire. He'd show off Mark's social media like it was a trophy collection. The Instagram account looked legit too. Photos of Mark in tailored suits at fancy restaurants, keys to luxury cars, screenshots of business deals worth millions. Dad would screenshot everything and send it to our family group chat with captions like, "My bro closing another deal." Last month, Dad invited Mark to my graduation party. He spent weeks telling everyone how his millionaire brother was flying in from his Malibu mansion. Mom panicked and upgraded everything, hired actual caterers instead of ordering pizza, rented fancy chairs, even got real flowers instead of the grocery store bouquet she usually bought. Dad was in full show-off mode. He told our neighbors, his coworkers, even the mailman that his brother would be attending. He printed out Mark's Instagram photos and showed them to anyone who'd listen. "This is my little brother's restaurant in Beverly Hills," he'd say proudly. When Mark arrived, something felt immediately off. He was driving a beat-up rental car instead of the Tesla we expected. His designer clothes had Walmart tags still attached. I could literally see the price sticker on his shirt collar. And when people asked about California, his stories didn't add up. He kept mentioning Milwaukee weather and seemed confused when someone asked about beach traffic. The breaking point came when my 8-year-old cousin ran up to Mark during dinner. With that brutal honesty only kids have, she asked, "Uncle Mark, can we visit your restaurants? Daddy says you have 3 of them." Mark looked genuinely confused and said, "What restaurants?" The entire backyard went silent. 40 people just staring. Dad's face turned bright red, then white, then red again. You could hear the neighbor's dog barking 3 houses away. Turns out Dad had been creating fake posts for years, stealing photos from random restaurant owners online. He'd even photoshopped Mark's face onto other people's bodies in some of the pictures. Mark scrolled through years of fabricated content, fake business meetings, stolen photos of expensive cars, even a fake wedding photo where Dad had edited Mark into someone else's luxury wedding. The attention to detail was honestly impressive in the most disturbing way possible. But here's the twist that nobody saw coming. Mark wasn't even upset. He started laughing so hard he almost fell off his chair. "I always wondered why people thought I was rich," he said, wiping tears from his eyes. "Random people would add me on Facebook congratulating me on business deals I'd never heard of. I just figured Dave was finally proud of his janitor brother." Wait, what? Janitor? Turns out Mark had been working as a school custodian in Milwaukee for the past decade. Not a tech entrepreneur, not a restaurant owner. He cleaned classrooms and fixed broken desks, and he absolutely loved his job. Dad completely broke down crying right there in front of everyone, apologizing for being ashamed of Mark's real life. The guests didn't know where to look. Some people quietly started leaving. Others stayed frozen with their forks halfway to their mouths. Mark walked over and hugged Dad tight. "Dave, I make decent money, I have great benefits, and I help kids every day. Why would you be ashamed of that?" Then he turned to the crowd and announced, "Next graduation, I'll bring my real car, a 2003 Honda Civic with 200,000 miles and a duct-taped bumper." The whole family ended up loving Uncle Mark more than the fake millionaire version. He spent the rest of the party telling hilarious stories about the kids at his school and showing pictures of the murals he'd painted in the hallways during summer breaks. 2 months later, Dad deleted the fake Instagram account and started posting real photos of Mark in his custodian uniform, proud as hell. Sometimes the truth is way better than the lie, especially when the real person is infinitely more interesting than the fake one you created.